What is your relationship to love itself? And that is the question I'm going to continue to ask myself as this moon approaches and is on my Aquarius ascendant. This sky has magic written all over it. This has enchantment written all over it. We give meaning to the sky gives meaning to us. It's an interchange. There's a Rumi poem, something along the lines, if you're in the dark, look again, maybe you are the light, right? So that's a bad paraphrase of Rumi's poem. If you're lost in the dark or you can't see in the dark, look again, you are the light.
Lunatic astrology.
A full moon in the sign of Aquarius at the end of the month of July will ask us to answer the one singular question: where is it that you wish to shine brightly like a star in the sky in the night? It is really a beautiful moon. This moon will be at 6 degrees of Aquarius, and it will be hooked up to Pluto and across from Lord Jupiter. This is going to bring us into themes of understanding the deep power of truth, wisdom, and knowledge, and the power that our spiritual life can bring to our everyday world. We don't have to sit down on a prayer mat or go to church. This is the inner guru and the inner knowing within each of us that's being celestially highlighted. And there's also transformation that this moon offers, as well as revelation on themes of mortal love. Asteroid Aphrodite, the goddess of love herself, is sitting across from this lunation with Nyx, the goddess of the night, and Psyche, the asteroid that represents the soul, as well as the idea of trying to repair and reclaim love that has been lost. We're going to share a lot about the themes of true love within the mortal realm, but also that love we have for the divine, because we are a part of everything, and God and Goddess is a part of who we are. If you listen to any of these Hafiz and Rumi poems written so many years ago, these are poems about falling in love with one's own divine nature. So let's talk today about a very powerful moon. It is with Barbault's basket, as you've heard everyone yelling, the Barbault cradle, the Barbault basket, the splendid new relaunch of a civilization. Barbault's very words. Barbault was an astrologer who passed away in 2019 at a very elderly age, who had predicted the pandemic, who had predicted the financial crisis of 2008-9, who had been many predictions that came true. And he passed away before he saw his last prediction unfold before our very eyes. Well, he is now back in the news cycle, even as he's not with us today. And his story is important. I've done a whole video called The Basket Opens, and maybe Stella can ping it here for you. Go watch The Basket Opens, because this moon is a part of that basket, and that basket is cosmically aligned, apparently for a splendid relaunch of civilization, but it's also a rare formation in our own lives. Just individually, something unusual is happening, something we've never seen before. This is because the outer planets Neptune and Uranus and Pluto are forming a harmonious miniature grand trine, minor grand trine. And in that way, we can't even find software that shows us when this last happened. That's how rare this is, okay? We can go back 6,000 years ago to see that, there was a Neptune-Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees of Aries, for example. But this particular triangle is extraordinary. And this little triangle then is hooked up to Jupiter and Pluto as well, forming a basket shape. We'll show it to you in a minute when I share the chart with you. Welcome to my channel. I hope you're excited by this Aquarius moon at 6 degrees of Aquarius, full and bright in the Aquarian sky. I am. I'm Aquarius rising. I'm one of you. And this is a good thing to bring to your attention. Sun, moon, and rising features are all available for your listing today. Just before we do the all signs portion, I'll have Stella put a little 2-minute in description of the difference between listening for sun, moon, and rising before we start that video. I am a teaching astrologer. I hope you love to learn, because I love to teach. I've been putting out new playlists. I've got my sun through the houses and now my moon through the houses that just came out and is doing very well. Go watch that. I will put a link for those playlist options there. I'm going to do planets through all houses, planets through all signs. It's so much fun to teach you guys this stuff, and that content will be there for you forever. But I also teach real life classes, and you're with me in the classroom and we're talking, and I'm taking your questions, and I'm teaching you how to read your own sky, how to time your best life, and how to be your own astrologer within reason. That's a 7-week crash course. That course is enough that when you leave, you'll have 2 divine timing tools that are simple and easy to use, so that instead of getting your fish at the fish market of Lori's channel, you're going to go fishing for yourself. And we have Q&As, and we have guest classes on things like medical astrology, electional astrology, choosing an auspicious date to start something, Love Codes with Donnie Lynn. We're having guest astrologers as well. The content is evergreen forever. Once you take the class, you keep it forever. If you can't make a class or one of our weekly Q&As, no big deal. The material is yours to catch up on. We also have a Facebook group and a Discord group for meeting other students in this gathering. September the 19th, a Saturday, we start our first of 7 consecutive weekends. Come join me. And it's at 9:30 Pacific time, just in case you need to know that. And the website information is in the description box. And at the end of this video, I'll show you the website in a short 10-minute overview of the course and why I think it might be right for you. All right, so guys, yeah, like I've lived to see the day, right? My Aquarius rising, my Saturn on my ascendant, my North Node on my ascendant, South Node on my ascendant, all bundled here, connected to the Barbault basket. Now, I'm going to show you the sky. We're going to talk a little bit more to refresh you about what the Barbault basket / cradle is about. But more importantly, let's focus on that moon. The Sabian symbol, and I do indeed love it, is this following words. The moon is at 6 degrees of Aquarius. It's full, but it's fulfilling something that you might have begun. You might have begun something, all right, on January the 18th, at a couple of weeks after that. So what happened mid-January to early February in your life when there was a new moon at 28 degrees of Capricorn? Because this is taking that beginning further. It's illuminating the harvest, the ripening. It's big, bold, full light showing you what's next from things that you were seeding as a new beginning back in January, mid-January, January 18th. So all full moons are a continuation of the new moon that would have happened 6 months before. So the actual Sabian symbol, using good old Dane Ruger's original edition of Astrological Mandala, the cycle of transformation and its symbolic phases. I got this book at an estate sale at a used bookstore, and it's so cool to have this, like, I don't know what year this is, 70s book. And it is the constellations of stars shine brilliantly in the night sky. Keynote, the power of basic spiritual values, which refer to man's common humanity and to all enduring archetypes. And then he talks about the word permanence. He also talks about how we give stars meaning, and then the meaning is reflected back at us because we give meaning to the sky gives meaning to us. It's an interchange. As above, so below, as below, so it is above. The alchemical refrain. This sky has magic written all over it. This has enchantment written all over it. Because the asteroid Nix is across from the moon. She is the night sky. And there is this sense of what we wish to shine, like a big light in the sky, like a star, like a constellation in the heavens. And it's in performative Leo, right, where Jupiter is sitting with the idea of night, Nix, and across the way, the moon on that Sabian symbol of the constellations in the dark sky shining brightly. It makes me feel like there's a call for each of us to shine some kind of light into the darkness of reality. There is no maybe light and dark, right? We always want to go with the yin and the yang, right? The yin and the yang symbol. Is it true? Sorta, but within the black is the white and the white is the black, right? Duality, the illusion of separation, all of that good mumbo jumbo. But I'd say something about that. You know, it's the appearance of darkness, right? That is something that the light is shining in. There's a Rumi poem, something along the lines, if you're in the dark, look again, maybe you are the light, right? So that's a bad paraphrase of Rumi's poem. If you're lost in the dark or you can't see in the dark, look again, you are the light. And so we are the light. We are the light of the world. And because we're spirits playing in matter, spiritual beings playing in some kind of dimensional realm, like a matrix, we are here to illuminate what is real, what is true, and what is good. That is what Jupiter says. Jupiter is being reflected by the moon as he sits in Leo. We are here to reflect the courage of our hearts. We're here to shine the light of our soul. Leo is ruled by the sun, right? The sun is in Leo. The moon is reflecting the light of the soul, the spiritual illumination into reality in this lunation. And it's coming through the Aquarian sky. It's near a bunch of stars like The star of the eye of the eagle and the constellation of Aquila is there. That's a star that is about playing to win and winning, but it's also got some military implications. But there's also this idea that we're in the sign of the water bearer with a lunation that's so powerful, about shining light, about the soul, about love, Aphrodite. I'll show you Aphrodite in a minute. And it makes me feel like, what is love? There's like Cupid's arrow strikes and you get infatuated with somebody, but there's a famous phrase about a marriage is last because you've learned the art of falling in love over and over again with the same person. Love is often transactional. It's often fairy tale unrealistic, like at the end of a rom-com when they are maybe going to live happily ever after. And it's often based on a bunch of ideas rather than the actual practice of it. And I think that in essence, there's something about the sky that's asking us not only to shine our light in the world, but to inspect our relationship to love itself. What is your relationship, not to a person or to a job or a child or a situation that you love? What is your relationship to love itself? And that is a question I'm going to continue to ask myself as this moon approaches and is on my Aquarius ascendant, is on my Saturn, is on my South Node. For me, it's going to be a very powerful and very important lunation. We're all impacted by it. It doesn't matter what sign. It happens to be in Aquarius. You have one whole sign house. It is Aquarius. How to cast your chart in whole sign houses using the traditional house method. Check my free tutorial below. It's under every video. It's simple and easy. You'll need that kind of a tool in order to use Time Lords to predict your life. And you'll be learning more about that in Sky Reader if you join me. Placidus might be good for psychological investigation of your character in the simulation, but it's not good at all and doesn't work for timing your life using Time Lord tools. All right. That's the next thing I want to say when I show you this. I'm going to bring it up, is that it really is calling in something to do with the word psyche. Now, psyche means soul, but we associate Psyche because she's sitting with the sun and Jupiter and being reflected in the light of a full moon, who reflects that back at us. We're talking about the archetype of love as well. You know, Psyche fell madly in love with this guy who came to her bed every night and made passionate love to her. And she was just in love with the whole, like, here comes my dark midnight lover. I can't believe how great this is. Very romantic, very kind of weird, kind of kinky. And her sisters, like this, it's like Cinderella with the evil stepsisters, we were really out to get her and told her that it must be a monster. He must be a monster if he doesn't show his face to you, if he only comes to you in the dark, right, in the night, in the blackness. And Psyche was extremely fearful because she was suspicious now that she was sleeping with a demon or a monster. But he had told her, Eros had told her as he came to her night after night, that should she gaze upon his face, the relationship must come to an end. So she picked up her lantern when they were in bed one night after they'd made love, and she looked upon him and saw the most beautiful being she'd ever seen, the son of Venus, the son of Aphrodite. So Aphrodite's son and her and Venus and Aphrodite herself are together in the sky with Jupiter across from this moon. And she was then aghast that she had broken his rule, and he could no longer see her. He was forbidden by the gods to have this mortal relationship. Now, he fell in love with her because he accidentally shot himself in the foot with one of his own arrows. And so now he was smitten with a mortal woman, and he was an immortal god. And the story has a whole travail like Hercules' labors, where she must prove herself to the gods to win the favor of the gods that she could be with him. And at the end of the day, it's a happy ending. She gets to be with him in the palace of the gods in Mount Olympus, and they give her immortal status. So this story is a happy ending in romantic love, but it's also about our suspicion of love. It's too good to be true. I'm feeling too good here. If I want to inspect it more closely, what problems will I encounter? They're self-made. So there's a lot of ways in which the archetype of love, how we relate to love, what love means to us, is so important in this lunation. But it's also about where we shine like a star in the sky. And I think shining like a star in the sky with Jupiter across the way is asking us from Leo to look at the courage and the vitality and the truth within our hearts, the core of the heart, the leonine energy. Maybe to see if there's something here we want to do in this world to lead, or we want to be artistic or performative in some way. And the energy of the lion and the constellation of Leo is ruled by the sun. And in general, the sun means the spiritual essence of reality. And the moon is our material realm and our mind and our thoughts. You see, so there's something and our ascendant, of course, individually is our our meat suit in the old simulation of a thing called world Earth being born and dying. So there's something very deep and spiritual here. If Barbault was right and he suspected that this cradle slash basket would be the beginning of a new era for civilization, that humanity was taking a turn, that it considered the rights and the needs of the everyday person, all for one and one for all, and that we're moving into also a technological turning point, a revolution there as well that favored our greater uh, goodness as a species, coming from a dark era of conflict, aggression, disparity, poverty versus rich. This is what he thinks would be our turning point. Is he right or wrong? He got so many things right. He wasn't apparently super woo-woo. He was using the math of the sky. The further the outer planets get away from each other and spread out, the more we are in a time of harmony. And the closer they bundle together, the less we are. So the pandemic started with a lot of bundling of slow-moving outer planetary bodies. And so we're under a kind of moving away from the contraction into the expansion and hopefully into a shift. Now, let me show you the sky. Don't forget, if you like this kind of astrology, don't forget to subscribe. People ask me all the time what I'm wearing. I'm pretty well an Otter spirit junkie. I have thousands of their bracelets by now. And this is one of my favorite ones. I want to share it with you because I am an affiliate, and you get like up to 30% off when you buy under my code of the really high AAA grade jewelry. And this is rhodonite, rose quartz, and lapis lazuli. And this is what they call their Taurus trio. And so I think if you want to go buy their stuff, I love it. I wear it all the time. I love it. This is turquoise, and that's blue apatite, and that's howlite, and this is quartz. I wear this stuff all of the time because it makes me feel good. I don't know why. I must have issues. But they also kind of do these really cool write-ups. You know, I'm into this kind of woo-woo, right? Is it backwards for you guys because it comes in a box, felt pouch? But it's like I'm wearing rhodonite. I'm kind and compassionate to myself and others. And it's love and healing. It's Pisces, Cancer, Libra, Taurus, and it's the heart chakra. Or I'm wearing rose quartz, right? And it's part of this trio. And it's love. Intention is love. And the reason I picked this trio today was to go with the Aphrodite and the vibe of that Psyche and the love stuff coming through the sky for this moon. Taurus, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn, and it's the heart chakra. So Aphrodite, Psyche, the goddess of the soul. And here we go, lapis lazuli, which has always been one of my favorite stones in the universe. I'm connected to the infinite wisdom of the universe, and it's for wisdom and intuition, the third eye and the throat chakra for Taurus, Capricorn, Sag, and Libra. Of course, you can wear this no matter what. It is put together as a Taurus trio. If you want to go over there, in the description box below, you'll find my code, and I am truly fond of the fact that they have a cause, that they help otters in the wild in Monterey Bay, rehabbing otters, helping otters, etc. Otters to me are just so playful, right? And the spirit of play is what I love about otters. So I'm going to continue to share the chart now, and let's get going and take a look at what we can see together about the sky. All right, so everybody, here we go. Look at that Barbault basket. Isn't that a powerful baby? We can really see it there. We know that this is what the whole world is talking about, and we'll see that Pluto and Jupiter across from each other are holding the front end of this basket that things are dropping into. Again, watch my video. The basket is open. I talk what is dropping into your basket based on your sign. You'll notice that I happen to have a Taurus rising just because, but bottom line, the moon is here. The moon is at 6 degrees of Aquarius. The moon is opposite at 6 degrees Aquarius, Jupiter at 6 degrees of Leo, with the sun at 6 degrees of Leo. This is a very profound formulation here. All I can say is that this is going to open up some extraordinary, powerful energy, because the moon is also in a flow to Uranus, in a flow to Neptune. This is a part of the basket that we would call the mini grand trine. And over here, we can see another mini trine forming as well between Uranus and Neptune, and of course, Jupiter. And that's what makes this extremely special. At the time of the actual lunation, the moon has gone past the Pluto conjunction and the perfect 4-degree connection to these planets. That just means it's taking what it's already done, which is talk to all of these planets, and now it's going to form a big bright light in our Aquarian sky. Down here, you have what I mentioned already. This is Hygeia for health, healing, and wellness. I didn't mention her, but there she is. This happens to be Psyche, the soul, the story of beloved, fear of the beloved being a monster. And this is Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty and love. And this is, of course, the asteroid Nyx, the goddess of the night. It can be about our shadows, being afraid of the dark, but the sun is shining here with Jupiter. So it's literally the darkness of the night against the backdrop of a big, bright sun in the sign of Leo, with the guru, the wise one, and the dispeller of darkness right there. And across the way, we know the Sabian symbol about the constellation of stars shining brightly in the dark night is also a narrative. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about each sign with the focus on how we can shine a light brightly and how we can really understand our relationship to love. And I'm going to make that love in a big sense. It could be brotherly love. It could be the love of God. It could be the love of a person in your life. Okay, so there's ways that we love. It's not just one kind of love, right? So that's why we have agape, the love of God or divine love. So we don't just have one form of lovingness, and brotherly love as well. And what is the Latin for brotherly love, guys? Do you remember? I do not remember the Latin for brotherly love, but if you do, let me know in the comments. I forgot it now. Philos, Philadelphia, Philos, I think, and agape, and then mortal love, Eros, like erotic love, turned on love, passionate love, right? That kind of thing. Eros is another name for the son of Aphrodite, right? Cupid, Eros, son of Aphrodite energy is the same guy. And so he's the one who gets us infatuated and falling madly in love with somebody or some person or something even. You can fall in love with your work. You can fall in love with anyone. All right, so here we have it in the 6:36 a.m., July the 29th. We have the lunation, pretty exact. Some places in the world, it could be Australia, it could be the late evening. So adjust for your time zone. Hello, guys. You always ask me, rising sign, sun or moon. How do I listen to this thing in astrology? Well, your sun is who you really are. Think of it about your spiritual essence, your divine light, the flame of your soul that lives forever, takes on a body, and that body is the ascendant. You might think of your sun sign like the actor who plays the role in the movie. Your sun is the real you, and the role you're playing in the movie, well, that's your rising sign. You tend to look like that sign. You tend to act like the personhood of that character in the simulation. It is not your real self, but you need a vehicle for your spirit to express. And when we look at your moon sign, we think about how you feel and think about life, your happiness, your emotional blueprint, your subjective well-being. But you remember the moon is only reflecting the light of the spiritual essence of you, the sun. So therefore, it's a temporary aspect or an operating system for your consciousness. I see a lot of the time that people's moon sign is really useful when you want to see how you're going to feel about this sky, but it also connects you very strongly to energies of home, safety nest, and mother. The moon is that stuff to do with the nurturant part of reality. When we talk about your sun sign, it can be father related material, but also connections to your purpose and career. For your soul is inherited, is on planet Earth to do something, right? And we usually call that a purpose of some kind. And lastly, the ascendant, very sensitive to your body, very sensitive to the fates and the circumstances of life. That is where your rising sign is, how you showed up, took the first breath of life. What was the sign on the eastern horizon at the time of birth? That's what the rising sign is. And it's very accurate for delineating astrology, at least until the age of mid-40s. And we begin to move back into our true self, into our solar energy. And we'll notice that our sun sign becomes as accurate or can be more and more actively useful for prediction. Already, sometimes you'll look at children for the first 7 years and they're operating primarily on sun sign energy. So when you're looking at your kids, definitely listen for their sun sign over their rising sign. All right, guys, here's that short form. Take it away. Let's go into the chart ahead. And we're going to start the story for a change with Leo. I think because you are the thick of the whole basket, we're going to do you today and move our way around the zodiac to Cancer. Leo, sun, moon, and rising sign. First of all, how is this feeling? Because you have a lot going on, right? You've got that Jupiter fixation going, like big, bold, and beautiful you, and the sun shining in your sign, and the South Node has entered here to give you a touch of fate, destiny, also surrender and letting go. And as this is all piled up, there's a lot to do with love. We have Psyche, the soul, we have Aphrodite, and we have the night. Now, quite possibly what you're feeling. And Hygeia, you want to take care of your health. And you might just be feeling there's a lot of energy in you right now. Like Jupiter can make you feel very larger than life, very big, very bold, very optimistic, full of faith and hope in reality for you, Leo, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And as you look across the way, you're going to notice that we have Pluto and the Moon reflecting you into the house of the audience, the marketplace, the public. Seventh house is that, and your marriage house. Now, your marriage partner, everyone who doesn't have one, don't worry. But if you have a marriage partner, there's a lot of suggestion that you might be having a focus on that person, or they have one on you. The moon is shining a new beginning, a fullness after a new beginning, January 18th, in your relationship to your audience, your marketplace, and your long-term and committed love partners. Jupiter also brings your focus to romantic partners as well. So these kinds of people, romantic partners, long-term love partners, and a big bright spotlight is the key here. If your marriage seed that you planted or relationship seed that you planted last January has come to this fruiting moment, you might want to ask yourself what you feel about your person, because the feeler energy of love is Aphrodite. Get in touch in the dark night of your own shadow and fears about love. How are you afraid to love? What about love makes you afraid? And look at that as you gaze across the way at people you do love, whether you loved them in the past or you love them now. We're looking at a deep dive into the archetype of what you love. And where do you want to shine brightly? Do you want to be a big luminous light, like a star, like a full moon connected to a celestial backdrop of stars in your marriage house? Do you want to be in a long-term committed love relationship? Are you looking for the ideal business partner? Or maybe this moon will fruit you in the 6 months that follow into something connected to marriage, moving in together, uniting with somebody else, making that commitment, or approaching your audience and marketplace in an entirely new way. Leo, single Leos, you got the North Node coming through here for 18 whole months. Please go watch my video that already came out talking about the nodal shift into the sign of Aquarius. That video has already been released because you have a new 18-month story, which is the thumbnail, and it's going to extend itself into relationship. You're going to want to either grow a bigger pot for your root-bound marriage to grow in so you can keep it strong, or you're going to find yourself in the throes of a destined, fated love story with somebody that you're romantically attracted to, romantically connected to, Jupiter fifth house stuff, but also that you want to reach out to in a commitment way. You might also find yourself considering the possibility that you are going to launch an entrepreneurial business. This is very good for that because you have a new bold light shining in the house of entrepreneurial business, fifth house stuff, flowing and beautifully into your seventh house of the audience and the marketplace. See what the fulfillment is. If you thought of starting your own gig in any way back in the day, this is your story. Pregnancy and children are Jupiter themes. There can be a light shining in the part of the chart that represents your committed partners. There may be a focus on your own children that you have together, or whether or not you want to have children. If you're dating, these things to do with children and love and romance all get twined together somehow, some way. Certainly having Jupiter, the lord of the romance house, co-joined with Aphrodite, the goddess of love, is a good thing. Psyche, your fears of love are there to be addressed in the Nyx, the night of the soul. So, dark night of the soul in around love. You're having a dark night around love. You may be disenchanted with your marriage partner, disenchanted with your significant romantic partner. You may be looking for a new clarity. And the light of the moon with Pluto shows you what's hidden from your view, what's under the surface, what things you don't know about love and loved ones that can help you find the true path for you as a Leo in this lunation story. You are ruled by the sun. The sun is shining in your sign with Jupiter. You're lucky and you're graced, but trust your big heart. Trust your deep knowing from the place of not your thinking mind and not your emotional complexes, but from your inner knowing, which is always within the heart center itself. That's my guidance for you. There's a lot about love that falls in this moon, and love and relationship stories. Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. It's story time. We have a beautiful, big Aquarian moon in your house of health, work, pets, rental properties, and debts. This is a place where you are of service to the world. The illumination here is showing you something. You planted seeds around the work theme back in January 18th last year, and by the end of January into early February, you probably had a sense of what you were planting. It could have been a new health routine. It could have been a new work situation that you were looking to create or seed something new in your current employment structure or job place. This is also Pluto. He's revealing things when a light shines. It's like a light shining in the basement or under the ground. And, this light can show you something you couldn't quite grasp in order to know what direction you want to go when it comes to work and career. Certainly because of the basket and Pluto moon is trining that energy of Uranus. It may be a sudden and surprising, if not shocking, change in your work. And the moon is about debts and indebtedness. If somebody owes you money or you owe them money, or money could come to you in a chunk, that could also happen. This is very positive energy for you, procuring a solid chunk of money that you can use. It may help you eliminate a debt. Or if some of you are into buying a home, buying property, that can be something you're thinking of doing. You might want to put money into a property alone or with a significant other in the next 6 months after this moon. Same would apply to being able to extract money from the sale of a property. The more difficult side would be that there could be a father figure coming into a time of decline, and there's a lot of love there. They may be ill. They may end up in a hospital. You may end up in a bequeathment setting 6 months from now where you are coming into some patrilineal father-like inheritance money up your line or from your in-laws, right? Your partner's family as well. There is a feeling here that if you're looking for eliminating your own self-undoing, I say that all the time, it's such a cliche, but how you have a habit of letting your own self down, whatever that is. It can be, so some of us, addictive patterns and habits. Some of it's just, our own self-belief that we're not good enough. Who knows? But the way you fall away from yourself is the 12th house. You're falling away from the power of the first. And in this regard, you're probably going to find there's some healing here. Jupiter is the truth, the wisdom, and the knowledge. And he's with the sun, the light of seeing what you need to know in order to heal something. Certainly having the goddess of love and Nyx, the goddess of the night, and Psyche, the goddess of the soul and psychological Psyche stuff, and Hygeia, healing, is asking you to heal some deep stuff. And it can be ancestral. It can be from your childhood growing up. It can be anything to do with your family of origin as well. If you want a pet, there may be a pet. Right. This is a fulfillment of something you wanted. You might have been thinking about it in January. And the fulfillment, says Jupiter, is pet for the home. There can be, this is charitable activity, a rescue pet rather than a puppy, to save an animal from, a shelter, or to procure an animal from a far off land. But there definitely can be, in the 6 months that follows, a new pet for many Virgos who are seeking an animal in their home to love. And if you believe in animals bringing us healing, Hygeia says a new animal can be very healing for you, either physically, emotionally, or spiritually, or even mentally. The basket is rare. Go watch The Basket is Open. That video has come out. I think it'll be helpful, as well, of course, as a Nodes of Fate changing signs your next 18 months. Libra, sun, moon, and rising sign. The sky says we have a big, bold moon on the 29th in my time zone. It's shining at 6 degrees of Aquarius on Pluto, revealing what is hidden from view that you need to know, to understand, or to see in the house of romantic love. Now, that can be, because of the North Node, a feeling of fate and destiny for single Libras as you come into a relationship that feels like the gods have ordained it. And this is transformative, and this is regenerative, and this is powerful energy. But the moon is revealing that love to you. It's showing you that there's someone to love here. And if you're already with a partner, then this could be about the love of your children, your children's love toward you. This could be matters connected to any of your children, having children, like getting pregnant. And I think the moon here is also very strongly connected to matters of your willingness to entertain your artistic, creative, and even entrepreneurial muse that there's yelling at you, create your own business, or do something artistic or whatever. You're really feeling this part of your life wants to be more fruitful in a way that you feel inspired and playful and fun and joyful about it. Start a book, write a book, do something here, fulfill a desire that you may have planted back in January of this year. And because we also have a lot of love in the 11th, there's probably some kind of friendship story that could be friends with benefits, or falling in love with a friend, or a friend falling in love with you. There's this quality up there of friendship and love intermingled together. That is quite powerful. There may be a desire to find the soul of your work. A woman years ago wrote a book, Bring Your Soul to Work. And this can be like you're looking for the deep truth, the psyche, the soul of your work. The 11th house is your long range goals and dreams and plans. And you're looking for the soul of it. And you're looking at that in the dark of the night. Nyx is there. So there's qualities of going inward to look for the soulful way you wish to progress in your work and career. And when I say soulful, I don't mean mystical or being a preacher. I mean finding your inner guidance, your inner true north that tells you, yeah, this is what I'm here to do. This is how I want it to look. This is my path. This is my calling. Especially with Uranus in the house of Dharma, it's asking you to light up with a purpose, light up with a calling. It could be book publishing, it could be writing, it could be teaching, it could be selling, marketing, learning, traveling. There's a lot going on here for you. You won't know it all at once. This moon could take up to six whole months to show you everything it has to show you. But if you're not, turned on and following your bliss by, taking the path of creative, artistic, and entrepreneurial or muse-inspired energies, where you feel like life is a childlike, wonderful playground, that's how you'll know you're on track. This moon is trying to bring that to you. And it may be uncovering things, right? Pluto, where you might have had some things that were hidden from view that could hold you back from this new way of being. Certainly Sun Jupiter in the 11th house of career gains and rewards is being reflected by a moon in the 5th house. And it could look like good fortune. And you might feel like as if you won the lottery, as if you came into some good fortune, likely through career, but I wouldn't put it past the god of wealth, Pluto opposite Jupiter, luck, to bring you a lottery win, right? There's a possibility just for a few of you that around this lunation, it would be okay to grab yourself a scratch off ticket or something like that. It wouldn't hurt. It could work. Why not? Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Saturn is the ruler of the lunation, and he's hanging out over here in your 7th house. So there is a lot for those married people who are Libras that are already in a committed love story that really unearths some deeper intimacy, romantic connection, potency in an existing love story, more affection, more love, more romance can be thriving here if you're already in a relationship situation. Meeting somebody under this will feel like the fates have put you together, and like it or not, it may feel like it's going to last. You might think, oh, I want to be single, but you could end up in a long-term love story within 6 months of this moon. All right, how about you, Scorpio, sun, moon, and rising? A beautiful light is shining full of Plutonian energy in your 4th house. This is quite powerful. This is angular. The basket is facing you. You are having to drop something in it. And watch my basket video, right? The basket is open because it's an important one for you. This is kind of like you are looking to fulfill something that back in January you set in motion. You set something in motion to do with your home life, property. Now, the moon can mean like parenting, and there may be something about destined parenting in the home, but the moon could also be about the home, and it's in the house of the home. Pluto is riches, and the North Node is expansion and volume up, a bigger home, a fancier home, These are the kinds of things that could be coming your way. If you're coming into a bigger home or a fancier home, which could happen, then you're likely looking at the potential of a rental. That's because of Neptune Saturn here. So a rental home, a bigger home, a fancier home, may be in the works for some of you over the next 6 months. You may have some financial surprises, chunky money coming to you, maybe from father figures, but it's going to allow you to expand your home base, most likely in some fundamental way. And it can be bigger, it can be more luxurious, it can be a sense of a destined expansion in the home. And Jupiter is in this top of your sky for your career. You may be thinking that your career is going to prosper and you're going to increase your success, and you will, because Jupiter is here for a year. But the South Node is asking you to also let go of something, and the moon is reflecting that. It's like you have to let go of something in order to focus on your home life over the next 6 months. For example, my Scorpio rising son is having a child in the next couple of weeks, recording on July 18th. And of course, he'll take paternity leave and he will spend time away from his career. But for those of you who have to take time out from your home life, from your work life, to do something in and about the home, there's no reason to worry. Jupiter is going to bless you there for the next year and bring you exactly what you need and exactly when you need it in the career and professional success arena. All right. And if you have any kinds of parts of your life where you are wanted to be more entrepreneurial or more creative or artistic in your career expression, this is the kind of moon that ultimately over 6 months can bring those possibilities to you. All right. A beautiful light shining in Aquarius in your third house for Sagittarius sun, moon, and rising. Sag, sun, moon, and rising. The light is here in your house of siblings. There may be a sibling relationship that wants your attention. Go back to mid-January. Did you have a sibling story percolating then? Were you thinking of a sibling? Did something about siblings come up for you? And it is possible this is a sibling one younger or even two younger than you, but it can be others, siblings as well. But certainly those ones are highlighted. There's a destined shift, a destined thing going on. And you might have the illuminating factor with Pluto of uncovering under the light of the moon something you didn't see in a sibling relationship. It may involve elements of fortune and good fortune and maybe even money. There is an energy here connected to Jupiter's the height of the sky. He's in the ninth house. This is a house of spiritual and religious ideology. He's kind of like the preacher or the pastor or the minister or whatever, or the Pope. So he's up there. Pope Leo would be up there. And I think that you're having some kind of spiritual transformation because this is the south node of surrender, release, and let go. This is Aphrodite, the love goddess, with Nyx, the night goddess, with Psyche, which represents the soul. Some of you might actually be having an incredibly spiritual awakening vibe going on. Jupiter is your ruler. He's sending beams of love from, meditation and yoga and gurus and spiritual philosophy at you. Could be really good for winning in a court case as well, especially if it involves siblings and money. The energy is also very optimistic for you because it flows to you from Jupiter, and then the moon is reflecting the Jupiterian optimism. So there's a kind of optimistic thrust here. Now, because he rules your fourth house and Jupiter is in a foreign land, you may travel. The moon says travel too. There could be a significant need to want to or desire to travel abroad and or domestically coming from the moon. But it would be a part of a siege planet in January. In January, like, I want to go abroad. I want to travel around the world. I want to travel to the other side of a country, whoever, whatever. Travel. Moon is in her joy here. And Moon loves to travel. She's phasal. She moves through many signs very quickly as well. So I see something very important for you, Sagittarius, that this Moon wants to illuminate an opportunity through the maybe uncovering of hidden variables about travel. Could travel because of siblings, for siblings, in connection with siblings, cousins, uncles, aunts, even extended family members. If there's a Sag out there who's thinking of a pilgrimage, it has pilgrimage written all over it. South Node, Jupiter, Sun in its joy. in the ninth house. So both the sun and moon and joy houses activating a metacosmos spiritual energy field says spend some time in a pilgrimage zone. You know, you can do it from your armchair, I guess, but you can also go somewhere, ashrams, retreats, spiritual time away. That kind of thing is very active. This could also look like some major changes are percolating in committed long-term love relationships. And if you were single, maybe you would meet somebody in a new relationship for you, maybe because you meet them in a spiritual community or you're traveling and you meet them. There may be an unexpected, surprising, but positive introduction of a new person into your life for those singletons, and romantic love could come your way under that Aphrodite rich story here. They may come from another country. You may meet them in another country because you're traveling. They may have a different religious background, spiritual background, language, or culture than you. But if you do fall in love, it triumphs over all differences, and you are in an Aphrodite story. So there is love here for you if you're looking for it in the next 6 months. Ask yourself, were you thinking of love? Did you want love? Were you planning love? Were you hoping for love? Were you vision boarding love in January? There's something going on here. It should be new. That's not a retrograde story. It should be something new, not an old love coming back. Okay, because everyone asked me about that, but no, not this one. This is something fresh. This is something definitely new for you guys. Capricorn, sun, moon, and rising sign. Energy-wise, it is full in your money house. This is about you and your money. You and your values around money, you and your financial resources and possessions. Now, the light of the moon is taking off from a new moon in January, and it's asking you to look closely under the full light of what is now visible. What is visible from Pluto's, picking up the rock and looking underneath is the question. There's something that was hidden from your view. You can now see about finances. And Jupiter favors you from the 8th house. And so money connected to spousal shared resources, inheritances, money from the in-laws, money from investments, money from any kind of, whether you're getting the money or you're giving the money, say spousal support money, any kind of that 8th house chunks of money, shared resource money, unearned income, all of that is being reflected in the 2nd house of money you can put in your savings account, your wallet, and your pocketbook. The moon is with a god of wealth here, and the destined circumstantial increase, says the North Node, over the next 18 months. Please go watch that video about your next 18 months, nodes of fate, will increase your financial resources. Okay? It will definitely make your bank account larger, your savings account. But there's something here that it's all about this love stuff, Aphrodite and soul, Psyche, and the dark night Nyx, like a dark night even of the soul. You might be going through a big spiritual transformation. South Node is to let go, release, surrender, let God. South Node is connected to spiritual awakening and a spiritual awakening moksha house. And so any of you with Jupiter ruling your sort of guru land, ashrams, getaways, isolation, alone time, mountain caves, Jupiter ruling the place where you have the full liberation, the full awakening. This is going to open up awakening energy for Capricorns who are looking for a spiritual shift. All right, that's what it looks like to me. In the meantime, you could resolve money situations that involve debts in surprising and sudden ways to eliminate debts, indebtedness, and debts you owe to others. It can suddenly turn around in the next 6 months. That credit card's paid down, the spousal support is not needed, whatever it is. But you can also come into money because of Jupiter here. Money would come from the in-laws, the spousal family. Money could come from a sibling, 3 older, 3 younger. That can also include coming into property through the mechanism of inheritance in the next 6 months. And it's not all your money. It could be your partner's family, right of origin. If you're married, that, doesn't have to be just one thing. So I see increase of money through asset attainment, asset relocation, refinancing, but more getting possession of maybe real estate or legacy wealth or family money. Think about back in January, did you plant a seed here? Was there some thoughts about that? Well, Aquarius, like the Leos, we're in the thick of it. The moon is in our sign. It's shining brightly right at us. It's about us. It's about who we are. It's about our Aquarius sun, our career, our Aquarius moon, our home, and how we feel about life, and our Aquarius rising, which is our character in the simulation, avatar character in the game of life. The moon is shining on us, and it's shining on Pluto with us, and Pluto is our transformational planet. We can be like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It's that death and rebirth. That's like caterpillar becomes a butterfly. It's also evolutionary transpersonal willpower that is moving into our sign. We feel it. We cannot not feel it. Nothing will be the same in our lives when this finishes up in 2044. In that regard, the moon is showing us something from January 18th out a couple of weeks after in January that we were seeding here. We were putting a seed in place for something important. For example, I remember in January, I was doing spiritual awakening investigations. Okay. I was down the rabbit hole with Eckhart Tolle stuff and really moving deep into that area of my spiritual quest. And I think that there's something like to look back at what you were doing in January, especially mid-January onward, because it's now coming to a fulfillment story. Because we have Aphrodite, the goddess of love, and Psyche, the soul, but also a love story. I told it in the beginning. And we also have Hygeia for healing, and we also have the Nyx for the night. We see something about letting go, softening, releasing, and surrendering, either our attachment to romantic love or long-term partner love, or letting go of a person that we love. It's time for this relationship to be surrendered. Not everybody will obviously do that, but if you do, it could be a good, true, and wise story with Jupiter here. That it's for a season, reason, and a time would be a good refrain. But because the South Node can bring new people in as well, a new love story in the 6 months that follows may germinate with the South Node past lives together. You feel connected. It's very familiar to you. And the South Node traveling through here for 18 months, but certainly in the 6 months after this moon in your sign, sun in the house of relationship, committed love and partnership, will bring your attention to a potential soulmate love story. In general, with Jupiter here, you'll attract generous, magnanimous, and wealthy people. And it's just a thing in love, in business, in clients and customers. But you have soul pod with those people. Any new people you're meeting or spending more time with or getting to know or deepen a connection with in the next 6 months, you're going to be guaranteed you guys are soul pod. You've been there, you've done this, you've been through this thing before. It's not brand new. Saturn, of course, is ruling the moon from your 3rd house, social media, teaching, writing, marketing, selling, communicating, 7th house, audience and marketplace. You are looking at this whole story and inspecting how you show up in the public with your marketplace, your audience, your fans, if you have them, relative to the social media, writing, teaching, marketing, selling landscape. And you are coming to some new stability and some new prosperity through perhaps new ideas or new forms of communication. And I like that, the Plutonian element always keeps you super real when it's opposite Jupiter, right? What is true, what is good, what is transformative, and what is powerful. So there's something about your agenda that seems to be Pluto powered at this time. And the moon is working with that. Illuminations about who you are, illuminations about how this character in the simulation is meant to operate. Okay, because you're going to grow a bigger identity footprint with that North Node. You're going to expand your sense of worldly success in the nature of the simulation. You'll see. You'll see. Pisces, sun, moon, and rising sign. This guy tells me about a big, bold, beautiful, full light in your 12th house, which is quite hidden. This is like having a big light bulb on when you're quietly hiding out in a cave on a mountaintop, where you want to be in isolation and alone, contemplation time, bed pleasures. And there's a big spotlight here, including Pluto. Pluto is that which is not seen or known by you being revealed to you. This can be a house that invites in dreams and dreams that are revelatory and bring you great new self-awareness. This is a spiritual liberation house. Do you want to wake up in the dream or from the dream? Well, look no further than a full moon with Pluto, death and rebirth, in your 12th house. That's the story. Because it's reflecting the sun, not the sun, the sun and Jupiter. I don't have a lisp. If I do, it's the microphone. Sun, the sun and Jupiter. Aphrodite here, the goddess of love. There may be a karmic love story here for you. Now, if you're in a marriage, ignore what I just said. Some of you may have the beginning of an intersection of destiny with a karmic love story that wants to show up in the next 6 months. So if you were single Pisces, ask yourself if you were planting seeds in January for a new love story, maybe even a love story connected to work, people you meet in work. Jupiter also says, he trines your 10th house, finding the enjoyment and the soul and the in loveness with the work you do as a service to the world, your job, and it lights up your 10th house by trine and sextile from the moon. So you end up with this beautiful wedge to the 10th house. It's asking you to pay attention to what it is you wish to do that's in alignment with your purpose and express as your career. And you feel like you have joy and enjoyment in doing the job. Right? On a practical note, yeah, of course, Jupiter can give you a job opportunity, and it may have to do with far off lands and foreign people and distant shores, or digital income and borderless revenue. But there is a kind of a light here that says you might move into some kind of more aligned work life and job life and more stabilization of your finances. Saturn wants to stabilize your finances and is working with this moon. If you work online, you have customers and clients around the world to pay you with, credit card payments through online payment processing systems, then you are going to benefit under this light of this moon. You're going to be more prosperous, more bountiful, and more joyful in the work that you do. Especially if that work is a healer's job. Anything wrong with your health, this moon is going to help you find hidden solutions to health problems from medical establishment people that can really turn your health story completely around in the next 6 months. All right, Aries, sun, moon, and rising. I have a sun and a moon, so I get you guys. I get it. I get us. I know what we're up to. This is a moon that says, what about your gains of your career and your long-range goals and plans and dreams? What about your friendship circles and social networks? Shine a light, shine a light. Let's take a peek up there. Power, transformation, regeneration, says Pluto, riches. I think in January, some of you probably planted seeds about long-range goals and plans and dreams for your career, for the gains of your career, like the rewards, the perks, the money. Also, connections to a sibling one older might have been a focal point, and also connections to your friendship group. So there's a lot you seeded back here in January, and now you're fulfilling it. The node of fate has moved here. Please go watch my video on the movement of the nodes of fate. Your next 18 months is the thumbnail title, because I think that this is going to imply an increase of success professionally, or an increase in your goals and dreams, like a sort of a feeling like you've achieved worldly success because you planned it, you thought about it, you had a sort of a plot line of your 5-year plan, and you're destined to succeed, right? But you need to uncover what is hidden, and there may be something like a female friend has something to share with you, or an ally or a benefactor, someone who has your back, wants to give you a leg up, someone maybe wealthy, and you're going to someone lunar, like a mother figure. I mean, under this sky, this is pennies from heaven. A mother figure could dispense money towards you. Like, here's some money, enjoy. Why would that money come to you? It's not very inheritance-y here, but you could be benefiting from a generous and wealthy female that increases your financial resources and helps heal some wounds of self-worth around finances. But more so, this is a moon that's reflecting a lot of love in the house of love. Aphrodite, the goddess of love and beauty, and even creativity, is here in the house of the muse. This is a house of conception and children. This is a house of romantic love. All right, so Aries who are single, looking for a relationship, yes, absolutely. The moon can say you meet this person through friendship circles and things you're doing with larger groups of people, or a friend introduces you, or a sibling one older introduces you to a love of a lifetime. South Node, past life, soulmate energy, Jupiter, big love. Big, bold love. Aphrodite, your heart's pitter-pattering. Psyche, the shadow work of don't doubt the love. The monster is not there. This is what it seems. This is Eros, the son of Venus, who's having sex with you every night. And also Night, the Nyx. More shadow work with Nyx as well. It's like what we're afraid to see in the dark. So, you're really diving into deep and profound love energies. Now, for example, this could be a very beautiful story about a child. You may be pregnant or going to have a child in the next 6 months. And this is the love of being a mother, and the love of having a baby, or the love of raising a child. There's also the possibility that one of your children is going to fall madly in love with somebody in their reality, because from the house of your children, the moon is in the house of commitment. And I do want to mention that if you're a creative or an artist or an entrepreneur, then this is like a really beautiful moon to bring people to you, to support your art, to support your entrepreneurial business, who are nurturant, who are lunar, so feminine, usually motherly types, who want to come in and support you like a big mama sister of some kind. So you're going to find more life stepping up to help you, so you don't have to bear the burden alone. There's nothing worse than shouldering everything on your shoulders. Tell me about it. I am this shoulder, right? Is like, I'm in physio, don't worry. I'm working on everything, trying to fix it, but it is like an archetypal burden of the family I came from. My mother's side, she had a shoulder problem. We're carrying like ancestral burdens. And I feel like you are looking at something kind of similar, other Aries here, because Saturn is the burden one, the heavy-hearted, come and I will give you rest, says Jesus in the Bible, and you're carrying this heavy load. Just put it down, right? Put the load down. And I think that Saturn here, you can feel like the whole you're responsible for everything. The weight of the world is on your shoulders. That's going to change in the next 6 months. There's much more lightness of being, more carefree, more fun, more joy, more excitement, more kid-like, childlike wonder and awe. And that's so this energy comes to life and is reflected in how you operate in the public, in front of people, in the audience, in your career, in the gains of your career, and amongst your friendship circles. It's like you're coming into a lightness of being, and the heavy-hearted Saturn energy is getting to reduce itself. It's one thing to be responsible and disciplined. It's another thing to be your own worst taskmaster, right? So that's going to change for you. Guaranteed, I think. Guaranteed. And yeah, single Aries looking for love. You might fall madly, wildly, crazily in love in the next 6 months with a soulmate. Ask yourself if you planted, I want to be in love seeds back in January, middle of January onward, and you might be already getting your results coming up here in the next 6 months. Might meet somebody through work, right? Venus, the goddess of love in the workhouse. Taurus, sun, moon, and rising sign. You are sky reading with me your big full moon that's in your 10th house. It can bring completions because the 10th house is like a decimating house, and it's like what is kind of fulfilling itself, like coming to its full light and beginning to fall away and wane away. I think you're going to look at a completion or a fulfillment of something you planted in your career space. Pluto, North Node, destined changes in your career path, Taurus. Death and rebirth, Phoenix rising. Seeing what you need to see that you couldn't see about a new career path that might be right for you, or if you're in the same career path, an expansion of your worldly success, riches, and power, and maybe public or popular appeal with the public, if that's something you are looking for. The full moon up here can bring you kind of a mass public appeal. Down here, there's a lot going on. The sun is with Jupiter. The sun is with the South Node, and it's being reflected by the moon. So there's something to do with where you live, your home. It looks like a move in the next 18 months for sure. Go watch your next 18 months video. The nodes of fate have changed signs. I put that out before this one. It looks to me like you want to release a home, surrender a home, or let go of a home. Now, no, not on July 29th, 30th. You want to let this home go sometime probably in the 6 months that follows the moon. And you're doing that because there's some Jupiterian promise, a bigger home, a better home, a fancier home. You or your partner can be pregnant and having to buy or sell or move into a bigger, better home because of children, conception children, or just because of your children, maybe need to get more space for your kids. And so children are a reason to move the home. And if you don't have them, the next 6 months, you could end up with you and your partner having a child. Your children can have children here. So one of your children may be pregnant and you may become a grandparent in the next 6 months. You may be moving your home in relationship to your children and their children. Psyche, soul, Nyx, the night. Afraid of the monsters within. This is your ancestral line. Healing, Hygeia. Are you ready to heal your ancestral line? Are you ready to heal the growing up experience you had and let it go once and for all, South Node? Are you ready to tap the deep depths of your many lives to find what prosperity, abundance, wisdom, and truth lie within your life story beyond this lifetime, and use that as sort of the root system of a powerful, potent, and worldly success career? You could definitely do that here. And, Saturn is the ruler of the lunation. He's in your 12th house. Some of you may be considering doing a job or a career path that requires you to travel, to be abroad, to make money from a foreign company or country. People could come into your life professionally that are allowing for money being made in a career setting from distant shores and lands. Digital income, borderless revenue, maybe. But also, this can be legacy wealth because Jupiter rules your inheritance house. This is a south node letting go of a solar figure, health challenges, and elder. So this kind of codes as elder, ancestral line, father figure, money, coming your way in the next 6 months for some of you, or any time after the July 29th moon. The gains of that money will allow for you to have more fun, creativity, and artistic expression, maybe even go entrepreneurial. Because sudden changes in your finances connected to other people's money is a part of what this moon does highlight. Seems like you might have some completion of a career path that maybe isn't right for you and time over the next 6 months to redirect. And maybe because like a financial situation gives you more freedom or latitude and time to make those changes. Okay, let me know how that goes. If you have a property you wish to sell, you may be selling it in the next 6 months. Gemini, sun, moon, and rising sign. The sky is quite clear here. It looks like you're going to have an amazing moon in the house of your dharmic path, your purpose. When we don't think of the ninth house as purpose, we think of it as spiritual wisdom, truth, knowledge, ideology, foreign lands, cultures, and travel. You can count book publishing as well. Stellium is in the house of writing. Academics and going to school, learning, being mentored, studying, all activated for you over the next 6 months. Fulfillment of a seed you planted in January regarding every theme I just mentioned. Because the third house is what is being reflected by the full moon, and the full moon is with Pluto, you're uncovering things connected to your siblings, your local environment, and your path and purpose itself. It's like you're recalibrating yourself along the axis of purpose in connection with your communication and your ideas. This is why a book could be a story in the next 6 months. You write something you wish to publish. This could be a social media project that you wish to engage that you think could bring purpose aligned with wealth. And so there's a generative energy of maybe a new seed that was planted in January, like you were thinking of a new idea or you wanted something to change. And certainly if you're in the online realm, social media realm, and you spend your life there like I do, this is a really good moon for turning the everyday world of your social media into something highly international and highly prosperous and highly world success oriented. But you're on a mission. It's spiritual, it's humanitarian, you care, it has meaning to you. So it's not like you're chasing the dollar here. South node in the house of siblings, especially a sibling one younger, is activated. There may be some letting go of conditions and connections to a sibling one younger, but Jupiter says good, wise, and true. Right? So it's all good. Like maybe you'll grow apart. Maybe one of you will move away from the other. Maybe your connection is changing in a fundamental way. Saturn is also highly active in your 11th house, flowing to the moon and ruling the moon. So there is also the potential for stabilization of money that you would call the gains of one's career financially as being more perseverant and stable in the next 6 months. Now, sometimes when Saturn is in the 11th, it can involve a sibling one older than you. So a sibling one older than you can be also kind of tied up in the mix if you have a sibling one older than you in something to do with a change in your path, your alignment with career. Jupiter rules your 10th house of career, and he's making changes with this moon. So there's something afoot here. You may change divisions, change your responsibilities in a situation and work over the next 6 months. But you've been thinking about this since January. It's nothing new. All right, pilgrimages, going on a journey, taking an international or domestic adventure, travel for spiritual knowledge and wisdom, travel for teaching or learning reasons, big story for you in the next 6 months. Okay. Some of you might even be really propelled to spend time abroad, like a writing retreat or a longer course that you want to study with people internationally. This is very good for studying with shamans, right? So shamans in your 12th house here, Chiron. So some of you might have this kind of propulsion to go off and study abroad, but for spiritual reasons or career purpose, shamans, really like not just any travel you're going to be propelled to do in the next 6 months will have little to do with margaritas by the pool. It has a purpose. It's connected to career. It's connected to Chiron, the key to purpose. And it may involve teachers, guides, gurus, and shamans, or classes that you have to go to abroad. Okay. Or you have to travel to within some definitive range. Get on an airplane, take a train, whatever. Let me know how it goes, Gemini, in the next 6 months. All right, Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. See, if I just turn my head a little away from the mic, that last 20-minute intro, it seems like I'm fading in and out. Can anyone who uses a Shure mic give me a tip? It's not like I can like glue my face in one place and never move my head. I mean, does anybody talk like that? Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Maybe this is not high enough. Maybe I'm leaning down too much. That's what it is. I need to lower my seat. Maybe that's all I should have done in the first video. It's just lowered my seat. Damn it. That makes more sense. I'm learning, guys. Because in the meantime, I think I've been trying to lean into the mic instead of just sitting here. Stella, you don't have to edit this out. People love me when I'm completely stupid. All right. So Cancer, Sun, Moon, and Rising sign. I think you're going to notice the energy here of a money shift happening. I don't know what kind of money shift is happening. You're the last one. We started with Leo. But it is on the axis of finances, money and possessions, and it connects to other people's money. Back in January, a new beginning, a new seed was planted here. It can be spousal support money. It can be inheritance money. It can be money from the in-laws. It can be money from book royalty income or Google AdSense, that kind of royalty shared income stuff. And this money is coming in to fulfillment. And there's a Plutonian there energy, uncovering, revealing money stories. It could be revealing your tax structure is not right. It could be revealing that you forgot you had a stock parked, 20 years ago in a trading account. And now it's like quadrupled in value. You might discover wealth. Hidden wealth can be discovered, Cancers. You might find a bucket of money somewhere hidden away in an investment strategy that you forgot about, or an inheritance that you never claimed. Why not? And yeah, it's also connected to all of this love energy in your second house. Now, this is the house of your earnings, savings, and resources, your possessions, and it's going to be connected to the node of fate. So there's a destined shift in your approach to money, your wealth, your worth, your self-worth. You might make less. You might actually have less. You could lose money, not like catastrophically, but South Node here for 18 months can diminish or volume down your savings account if you look at it that way. But Jupiter is the Hail Mary pass, protecting you on the financial front. There's a lot going on to do with money here that you would make versus money that you would just get in a chunk of some kind. And this is money you share it with the spouse, right? And so there's a big story here for you that's trying to find a new way in the next 6 months. And Saturn ruling it all is focusing on your visible reputation, married, divorced, widowed, or your career path. Now, there is a possibility some of you who are Cancers might want to undo a marriage, or the marriage could be getting ready to undo. After all, you had Mercury retrograde here for quite a while before this moon, and in Cancer, as you tried to make up your mind about a relationship since June. And maybe this is a time where some of you are thinking of getting out of a relationship that has been a marriage, and that could happen. This could be about the light of the shared resources. Like, what do we have? What are our shared assets? How much do you have? How much am I entitled to legally? Because Jupiter rules your house of courts and legal matters as well. So there may be an inspection of shared resources with a partner and who has what if the assets separate, and the fulfillment is just getting to that point. You could find yourself really loving things you're doing in your work, your earnings and work strategy. You're stable, you're stabilized, you found the sweet spot. There's a sense of enjoyment here, loving what you're doing, all of that. Health challenges with the face and the teeth are having grand healings with Jupiter, and all looks well there. Even if you've had health challenges, there's a vitality to your face or your mouth, and those health challenges may be on the mend very powerfully. The moon is a part of that story. Yeah, because Saturn, who rules the moon, also rules your marriage house. So long-term committed love and business partnerships and financial matters are turning here. Things are shifting. Things are turning. And the moon may take you on a rabbit hole with Uranus in your 12th house of a spiritual awakening of some sort, an illumination or seeing of your egoic structures, identity structures that are no longer necessary. But the North Node in the 8th house is very compelling for more money and more financial success. And business partnerships, collaborations, or venture capital funding or bank funding is very, very powerful. If that's something you're looking to do with this full moon, you may be able to acquire more money in chunks of money in order to do something in your career that you've long dreamed of that feels like a dream come true. Jupiter rules your house of book publishing. Venus is in the house of writing. Maybe this can indicate a contract for a book or a movie script, you're getting a chunk of money or a promise of a certain royalty amount. So any of you Cancers who are involved in that industry, this looks very, very good for you, actually. All right, thanks for listening to all of that. And let me just pause the recording. I think I have an outro for you. I haven't done an outro forever because I moved to a new home and I'm exhausted. And the move was brutal. I taught a 5-week live class with 2 weekly Q&As during a move. And I'll never try to do something that intense again. And the microphone and the camera setup and the office acoustics have been a nightmare. But I have some fun stories. I've been dreaming the sky for years. I want to do a course called Dreaming the Sky. And, I learned this from Ren Butler of Archetypal Universe when I studied with him back in 2020 for a year. And his book is always on my shelf, right? Ren Butler, Archetypal Universe. I highly recommend him as a teacher. He'll be teaching this fall, and I'll be sharing his build up for his course with all of my fans here. But here's the thing. Dreaming the sky is so literal that sometimes it just blows me away. So I have a friend who just dreamt about shaking up a martini last night for 2 women. And the asteroid Hebe, Hebe, is the server, the cupbearer of the gods. And the symbol for that asteroid, the glyph for that asteroid is a martini glass. I kid you not. Like this kind of martini glass, right? This kind with the top. Anyway, and I said, we got to look at the sky. And Hebe, the martini glass, server of the gods, the cupbearer, and he was shaking the martini in his dream for 2 females, was moving through the house of romantic love connected to his north node of fate, right on top of his north node of fate in his natal chart. That's how literal this is. If anybody here would like me to teach a class called Dreaming the Sky, we would work as a group dreaming together for several weeks and talking about the ways that our sky is reflecting our dreams. And at the same time, we may be able to use that same process of dreaming together, for those of you who remember your dreams, to use it as an intentional field. Like, let's all dream about the situation going on here in the world and see what we also get, because it will also still reflect the sky. We are actually as above, so below as above, dreaming the sky at all times. Now, Ren Butler doesn't like the house system at all because he's archetypal. And so when he talks about dreaming the sky, he talks about archetypes like Uranus, like Jupiter and Sun, the good father, right? So you might dream of a good father archetype. Then that maybe Jupiter, Sun is traveling over your Venus, and it might be good father and romantic love. It sounds pretty creepy, but you know what I mean. But if you add the houses, the whole sign houses that this is happening in, you get so much more nuance, so much more detail that you could not believe it. It is uncanny. So I have dreams all the time. As soon as I get up in the morning, I start thinking about my dreams, and I'm like, oh my God, of course, that's Mercury retrograding right now in my blank house, right? The dream is reflecting Mercury retrograde. The dream is reflecting the situation I'm experiencing in the dream, and it's happening in the sky. It's mirroring the sky. The dreams are mirroring the sky. The sky is mirroring our dreams. And that's funny because this is exactly what this guy says. This is exactly what Dane Rujar talks about for the Sabian symbol for the moon. The eerie way that the sky is actually not just our projection on it of meaning. Oh, that's a lion, and that's the Gemini twins, and that's the Cancer, the crab. And we assign meaning because they have different meanings in China, right? Same constellations, different names for what they are. It is literally that we assign meaning, and a meaning of what we assign is assigning meaning to us. It's a two-way street. It's so darn cool. I can't even believe it. Let me know. What about dreaming the sky? Would that be a fun class next year? Let me know if any of you guys are interested. The outro was just to say we're always dreaming the sky. Thanks for your patience with my acoustics, my mic, and my all my chaos of trying to get it to work without me sounding like I'm lisping. I hope it's better now. Thanks, guys. I'll see you soon. Every year I teach Sky Reader in the fall. It's always in September. It's usually 6 weeks long, and this time we're going for 7. We're taking it a little slower, giving you a very kind of leg up first week, which we take the pieces of the sky and teach you to read them in a very constructive and well-paced manner. This is my favorite class to teach. When I teach Sky Reader, I always feel so excited because you have learned to read your own sky. You now know what your chart is all about, and you know how to read the basic language of astrology for your friends, family, and your children, whoever you want to share it with. No, we're not professionally certifying you. At Lunatic Astrology, I'm your teacher, Lori Lothian. We're teaching you to fish so that when you listen to me on YouTube and you're getting all of that guidance, maybe you can also get your own. You know, we don't want to move against the sky. We want to move with the sky. We want to move in the area of our lives that brings us flow and ease, because the sky supports that. And by having a knowledge of what the sky is saying and relative to our own natal sky, we are able to operate at a new level. That level is about flow. It is about not arguing with what is happening and moving in the direction of what wants to happen. It is so darn simple. Life is full of ups and downs, but if you know that there's a swamp, 2 doors away, and if you walk that way, you're going to get stuck in quicksand, you can avoid that. If you go to the left instead of the right, there's a beautiful meadow with a lake. Why not take that path? The sky is always grabbing us. It's called the grahas, or the grabbers. The planetary planets, like where they're going in the sky, the transits, that moving heavens, the moving stars, the map of time is a map of where we should avoid getting stuck and where we may move forward with freedom. And the grabber part of planets is that they're almost like celestial teasers, right? They want to grab us and make us move in a direction. Sometimes it's not in our highest and best good. And I don't mean in a conscious, malefic way. I just mean you can take something like Neptune and make it all about transcendence and spiritual union and high creativity and imagination. And you can take it all the way down to drug addiction, and destitution maybe, and even things to do with mental challenges, health challenges. So you can operate at all levels of every planet. In Sky Reader, we show you your highest potential. Now, this is an introductory class. If you want to come to Sky Reader to be your own astrologer and time your best life, then you're coming because you are curious astrologically. You're not coming because you've already taken some heavyweight courses under your belt. You're coming because you've been listening to my channel or other astrologers, and you've always had a curiosity about learning, and you always want to learn to read the sky, which is the map of time. So I'm hoping some of you will come join me there, because I've graduated hundreds of students so far, and the feedback is wonderful. And I invite all of my students, former, to come back every year and play around in redoing the course for 75% off, because I think the more you do it, the more you deepen it. We have guest teachers every year. When you join Sky Reader, you get the archived vault. In other words, you can go back and watch other guest classes in astrocartography, the astrology of relocation, and things to do with zodiacal releasing and more. We have these guest teachers coming in this year. Are so much fun. We have a guest teacher about the love codes, Donnie Lim of astrology, learning to read your Venus story. We have a guest teacher coming in about medical or wellness astrology. We have another one showing us about how to choose the perfect day to do something, day and time to launch your website, get married. That's called electional astrology. We have what's your purpose, dharma kind of thing with another teacher. So what we're doing is we're giving you a lot of content. What you're doing is you're taking time to learn, but also to hold on to that content forever. It is evergreen. Once you have it, you never don't have it. If it's over your head at first, you won't be over your head when you take a second stab at it. Weekly Q&As, different time zones, so we can get people around the world in those Q&As. We alternate between evening and night every second week on Wednesday nights, and usually they're at 5:30 or 6 p.m. Pacific time. We also have the idea that the class itself is now happening at 9:30 a.m. in Pacific time on Saturday, starting on the 19th of September. So that's wonderful. We have a Facebook group and a Discord group that we have moderators running, where you can meet other people who are learning astrology, share your notes, and get to meet some new astrologically curious friends. Who knows? You might meet your soulmate there. And we're also taking you through a journey that is sequential. from learning to read the sky to being able to use two very profound timing tools to help you understand your reality and begin to move forward with ease and grace. The feedback from Sky Reader year after year has been phenomenal, and every time I teach it, I learn to make it more simple, more well-paced, and more easy for you to grasp. So I'm in 7 years of doing this. I think I'm getting it down finally to a fine art thanks to you guys. I'm going to show you the website just so you see what it looks like. I'm now moving most of my content to laurilothian.com. It used to be somewhere else at Padaya. If you're there already, nothing is taken away from you. At this point, though, I'll show you the new website so you can take a gander at what the sky looks like over there, what my site looks like. And I hope to see some of you in class. I always say this, and I'm not making this up. You might probably think, oh, that's a sales pitch. Oh, I might not teach this next year. That's not true. I always wonder if I'm just going to retire and start to write books. And my agent wants me to write a book. And so I have a lot on my plate to get done in this life. Legacy is to leave a book behind. So for me, when I say I may not teach this next year, Lori may not teach this next year. Okay. All right. So this is the website, laurilothian.com. If you go /sky-reader, you'll be at the introduction to the course and the enrollment page. We're on a discount code right now until the end of July. Well, it's not a code, it's just a discount. There's 40% off the full price. And then in August, depending on when you hear this, there'll be another lower price, not as discounted as July's early enrollment price, but by September, it will go to full price. So make sure that you get in this class with a discount if that's something you're looking for. So you can see this beautiful website was created by my team. I think it's gorgeous. Learn to read your sky. And then there's a preview of what we have going on. So when you get into the course backdrop and you're there, you're going to have like stuff already waiting for you, a little tutorial on how to cast your chart in whole sign houses, free minis of the 12 houses PDF. And I have what I call your Astro toolkit. And I'm always adding more stuff to that toolkit. You don't need a professional software. You can use Astrocom, astro-seek.com, time passages. These are free softwares. This is not requiring you to purchase professional software in order to learn in my course. And you'll see that we have the toolkit here. These are elements that go in, how to cast your chart in whole sign houses. These are already in the back end of the program. Your cheat sheet pack, 12 signs, 12 houses guide. This is just learning tools. This is all going to help you learn. For most classes, I'll be putting together a handbook to help guide you through each class, which is new this year, kind of a prompts, a questions, things to fill out so that you can use it as a kind of self-study tool. Just print it out on a PDF on a computer. I'll aim to keep it black and white, of course, so you don't have to worry about color. And then we see that the Astrology 101 is we set you up really slowly. I call it the slow start, where we're really going to build the basic building blocks together so that when you come off of week one, you are like someone who went to kindergarten to learn the alphabet. You're going to have the basics in your toolkit, in your understanding already. And then we talk about the various parts of the sky, the big four, the 12 houses, dignity matters. Planets have dignity. You want to understand that. Otherwise, there's nothing you're going to understand without that. Dignity matters. We're also using whole sign houses, and this is ancient Hellenistic astrology. The focus will not be on the outer planets because we can't use them as time lords. And so it's not that there's anything wrong with the outer planets, but they're not good for timing your best life. Unless you want to live 248 years, says Pluto, 164 years, says Neptune, or 84 years, says Uranus. They're not the most timely tools, right? Solar returns is one of the things we do, and we learn about the perfection ages. Now, you may think I know all about my solar return and my perfection age. I don't think you do. I embed in some advanced tools there for you that you won't probably find anywhere else after 8 years and thousands of clients, nonstop teaching and seeing real clients in the trenches. I have figured a few things out, and I always like to share what I figured out with you guys so that you can also use those tools the way I do. There's always bonus content here. And so you get from me, not to use until you've taken Sky Reader, the birthday chart advanced course as your solar return, the annual perfections advanced course, and how to find people in your chart. Where's my mom? Where's my kids? Where's my husband? Where's my siblings? How to find the planets that represent those people in your chart. That is also a part of a course that I've taught that I give you as a part of your bonus toolkit. Okay, so I hope you guys will go over. I hope you'll have fun if you come to study with me. I would love to see you there. When I talk about teaching, without a doubt, it is my favorite thing to do. It gives me a joy, actually. I remember years ago, I went to see a psychic reader in Coquitlam,